so much of this moving forward in our life comes back to the heart posture. Are we willing to submit? Are we willing to surrender? Do we have these characteristics in our life? Are they part of our coding? Are they part of our identity? If not, may I suggest that maybe it's time for an identity upgrade? Hello guys, welcome back to the show. It's Christine Jewell, and today we're going to be talking about identity, leadership, and momentum. Identity, leadership, momentum. Specifically, here's what's going on. I was thinking about who are some of the people, some of the clients that I've worked with, and the leaders, quite honestly, that I know, even those that I haven't worked with, that I have seen gain incredible momentum in their life, breakthrough after breakthrough. These people just make things happen. And it's easy to look at someone and be like, wow, they just must be lucky. They might have something going on that I don't. But today I want to just do a little check-in with all of us. When we talk about character and identity, do I have what it takes? Do I embody the characteristics and the traits of a leader who actually is a multiplier, somebody who will get results, who will live the life, who will create and build and steward the life that I know I'm created for? And I do a lot of work around identity. I talk a lot about identity because identity drives all of our behavior, right? Identity drives what we say yes to, what we say no to, the risks we will take, the decisions we make, like whether we put ourselves out there or we hesitate. Identity at the root in relationships are the two things I find most issues always come back to. So anyways, I was thinking about what is the work I love to do that lights me up, right? That challenges me to grow, that also stretches me and reminds me of why I do this every single day. I think this is such a powerful question for you guys to ask yourselves as leaders. Who are the people that when I work with them, I just light up, right? They challenge me to grow. They remind me of who I am and why I do this work and what I'm here to do. You know, our purpose, we feel more on purpose and more fulfilled when we see that our work, our presence, our interactions with people are making other people better. That's what I believe living on purpose looks like, is when I look around and I see when people are engaging with me, they're leaving better, right? They're feeling like more of themselves. They're multiplying. That's when I know, man, I am in my purpose. I'm living on purpose. So this is a question I asked myself recently, which had me come up with these characteristics and traits, because I'm also a big believer in alignment. And the more clear you are on who you want to attract, number one, who you are, but also who you want to attract in your life as clients, as employees, as colleagues, as wise counsel, as business partners, the more these people start to show up in your life, because you have a lens of clarity on. Your heart is in it. You are magnetic. So you have clarity and you're magnetic, because certainty is magnetic, right? Certainty, confidence, clarity. These are things that attract more of what we desire. And when we lack clarity, that means confusion. When we don't have a lot of certainty and we're operating from a place of doubt, we're wishy-washy. We have mismatched attraction. It's inconsistent, right? We may attract the right opportunities. We may attract some good clients. We may attract some good employees, but it's a mixed bag. And then we're going, why is it a mixed bag? Well, because we're not clear, right? We're lacking the certainty. So let's dive in. What are the 5 characteristics of really leaders that I love to work with? And really, again, I'm going to say I love to work with them because they make things happen. So number 1, they are builders of people. I call these people multipliers, right? They are builders of people. They don't just build businesses. They don't just want to build a machine. They don't just want to build a machine that spits out money, right? They love to develop talent. They love to call out greatness in other people. They love to create cultures where other people thrive. In fact, that's one of our core sayings at the Momentum Company, is that we believe that leaders, CEOs, founders have a moral obligation to create environments in which their people can thrive. What does it mean to be a builder of people? It means that I don't hoard power, right? I don't need to have power over you. I don't need to prove that I have power and authority over you. They don't hoard power. They empower. the people around them, right? They equip them with the tools and resources that they need to succeed, but they also give away authority and power with wisdom, right? Not mindlessly, because they are leading from a place of clarity. They know they have the right people in the space and they believe in people, right? So they know that real legacy is measured in who you empower, not just what you build. And builders of people know that really, if we go back to kingdom, we go back to Christ-centered leadership, the currency of heaven, like people are the currency that the Lord is concerned with at the end of the day. He doesn't need more money. He doesn't need more buildings. He doesn't need more stuff. What he cares about is, do we care about the things of the kingdom first? The primary thing is the hearts and the souls of the people. So when I get around my people, are they multiplying in who they are? Are they growing in their skill sets? Are they growing in their capacity mentally, emotionally, physically? Do they leave with more energy or less energy than when they got around us, right? Are they, even if we're investing in them in a season in our business, and we hear this so often, when people say, well, should we invest in these people if they're just going to be here for a minute and then leave? A builder of people says, of course you do. It's an honor to build people and prepare them and equip them for whatever God has for them next. And I can attest to this too. In a previous business of mine, which was holistic health and performance, I had people that I brought under my wing that were totally green. They'd never trained. They've never had done mindset coaching, training, building businesses. And I had 3 people go on to build and start their own businesses that worked underneath me. There was a season where I was offended by that, because that's, if you're operating from lack and scarcity and competition, you think, oh, these people just came and took. But once I realized what a blessing, what a gift that was to me, what evidence that was to me, that I was actually equipping these people, empowering them to such a point that they were skilled and had such a belief in themselves that they were going to go out and duplicate, right? That is the discipleship model, that they can go out now and they can duplicate. So number 1, they are builders of people. So as I'm going through this, really just check in with yourself. Am I threatened by people? Am I always having to hold power over people or trying to control people? Am I worried that if I invest in people, they'll get ahead of me? You know, that's one of the greatest things of a master, is to have a student that goes beyond you in mastery, that continues to excel. This is also why we hear, like, you're not the smartest person in the room. You're hiring people that are smarter than you. You're developing people so that they grow. It's such an honor to the master, to the wise person, to develop these students that then flourish and go forward. That was number 1. Number 2, they are strategic thinkers. I'm a strategist at heart. It is one of my great gifts. I love to look at the lay of the land, but they are strategic thinkers, leaders who get results. You guys, don't just stay in the trenches, in the weeds, down on the ground, in the grind. You need to know how to pull yourself up out of the fires that are burning around you, the circumstances that are taking you off or irritating you or triggering things from the past, and to be able to know the difference between just being busy and, feeling like you're doing a lot of stuff versus actually leading intentionally, creating intentionally, building intentionally. Strategic thinkers, they zoom out. They play chess. They're not playing checkers, right? They're thinking 3 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead, even more so. This one move, if I do this, what is the ripple effect or the domino that's going to have? I call this, again, the general's view of the land. And it's an ability that has to be trained. It's a trained ability, by the way, a fruit of the spirit, self-discipline, how to stop the noise and how to ask real questions. And it starts with asking themselves real questions around alignment, around capacity, around calling, right? Every move matters. So they don't want to just be reactive. They are not going to be puppets to everyone and everything. They want to maintain a self-discipline and a self-control and the ability to regulate their emotions instead of just jumping off the cuff. Now, I want to say that this isn't about, I'm not saying that they've mastered all of these, but this is the desire in their heart, right? When we have a leader, and I'm not saying I've mastered all these things either, but we have leaders who say, I want to be a leader who is thinking strategically. I want to be intentional about what I'm creating, what I'm producing and building, not just busy, exhausted with a full schedule, but living off purpose. I don't want to just be part of the noise, but I want to be intentionally aligned, pouring value, making sure we're in the right place at the right time, working on the right things. That's a strategic thinker. Here's number 3. radical ownership. Man, we live in a place, in a time and culture, and I've been there too, where we can fall into victimhood, right? Poor me, nothing's working out for me. The economy's doing this, the people are doing that. No, leaders who get results, the leaders who I absolutely love working with, they do not point fingers. They take radical ownership over their outcomes, their environments, their energy. In fact, in my old facility, we actually used to have this on the wall, like energy is everything. You are responsible for the energy you bring into this space, whether it's a meeting, whether it's the dinner table, whether it's a conversation. These leaders know that I am responsible for the atmosphere that I bring into this room, because every single person is bringing an atmosphere. And we can either be the thermometer that goes up and down, or you can be the thermostat that sets the temperature in the room. And so the leaders I love working with, they don't wait for others to go first. They don't wait for others to get it. They lead. You guys have heard me say this on this show, on this podcast many times, that leaders go first. It's crazy the amount of calls that I've done with clients that, man, it's like they're probably right. You know, they've been wronged. Whatever, things have happened, things have been said, things have been done, and it's so tempting to want to wait for somebody to come up, someone else to come up and take ownership, someone else to come up and say they're sorry, they did it wrong. Leaders go first. Leaders extend grace first. Leaders forgive first. Leaders provide clarity first. Leaders seek to understand first. They don't say, well, I'm going to understand them when they understand me. Leaders extend respect first. They don't wait for people to respect them in order to respect others. They don't wait for someone to give to them in order to give. They pour value first. This is what I mean by radical ownership, is the leading first and saying, you know what, if you lose and you're on my team, then we're all losing, and I'm responsible because I'm the head, right? I'm the covering over this. Hey, it's Christine. I'm interrupting our program for a minute to ask you a question. Could you use a breakthrough right now? What is the one area of your life that you know that if you had a breakthrough in this one area, if you broke through this wall of resistance, this challenge that you're facing, this mountain, that it would change the game for you in every other area of your life? Listen, if I'm talking to you right now, I want to let you know about a 30-day breakthrough coaching experience that I'm offering up for a limited time. It's where I'm going to work with 3 people very intimately, one-on-one. There's going to be daily touch points, daily action steps, and the opportunity to talk to me directly a couple times a week. And we're going to get to work on that one area of your life that is the domino that's going to knock down every other thing, that is just going to open the door. So here's who it's for. It's for those of you who are ready to roll up your sleeves, get to work. You want to execute at a high level. You want that person in your corner for support to call you out on the blind spots. It's also for those of you who don't want to deal with surface level fixes anymore. You want to get to the root of the problem. We're going to pluck the root out, and we are going to clear the path. It might be mental operating systems. It might be spiritual stuff going on. It might be as simple as getting into full decision and getting clear action steps. So if I'm talking to you right now and you are ready for a breakthrough, click on the link below. There's going to be a short application for you to fill out. Once our team receives that, if we think it's a fit, we're going to send you the offer with all the details, the pricing, the investment, and the clear next step. You guys, if the program is full, we'll drop you into the wait list. Again, if it's a fit, we'll let you know when a spot opens up. So if you are ready for a breakthrough in this season of life, click on the link, fill out the application. I'll see you on the other side. I talked about also the blessing, the growth being a burden sometimes. And if we're not careful, all of us can fall into this. But radical ownership understands that responsibility is a blessing, not a burden. It's a privilege, not a burden. It's a opportunity to activate a superpower that God gave us called grace at work in us, right? And as I step up and I take ownership, that's stewarding. That's managing not only for myself or for this company, but for the kingdom of God, right? I'm an ambassador of heaven on earth. So now I'm pulling in these kingdom principles, these Christ-centered principles, because it's true. If you guys are saying that we're believers, we're going to operate from faith, from the lens of faith, from the principles and the blueprints of heaven, not of earth, then we have to look at things differently. There's no blame games in the kingdom, right? There's radical ownership. So number 4 is radical humility. I love it. Humility is a sign of nobility. I believe it. I believe it. Despite all of their expertise, right? This is what I love. Despite all of their expertise, all of their accolades, all of the influence, all of the actual influence and authority that these people have, they have an ability to maintain radical humility. They show up to cause they're coachable. They know a lot of stuff. In fact, there's so many times that I'm working with people, I'm like, they know way more than I do, but they're curious. They're hungry. They're coachable, right? And this is the key to success, you guys. They know that the strength is not being the smartest person in the room, right? Their strength is not proving to anyone that they're the strongest, smartest, wittiest, most advanced. In fact, true strength, true power, true greatness doesn't have to say to anyone that it's strong, that it's great, that it's powerful. It doesn't have to be exerting that because it's a presence that people bring into the room. Radical humility means that they're open to feedback, not offended by it. They're saying, give me more. What else do you see that I'm missing? What are my blind spots? How can I do better? Right? There's a curiosity. There's a genuine desire to stretch, to grow, to get better every single day, which is huge because when we're open to refinement, I mean, that's how we get forged, right? We get forged in the fiery test, and that's how we get refined. That's how a jewel, a diamond is forged. It's under pressure sometimes. And I will say this too, when it comes to radical humility, because I've experienced this in my own life. The leaders I work with have a hunger to really be refined by the Holy Spirit, by God. And we don't always get it right. I don't always get it right. Sometimes we miss the mark. Sometimes God lets us miss the mark. But there's something that happens. It's not a humbling it's a humbling, not a humiliating is what I want to say. When we decide to go with the Holy Spirit and we say, Lord, I really want to partner with you. I want to co-labor with you on this. I don't want this just to be my project and that I'm asking you to bless, but really I need to submit to your will. I need to submit to what you see. I want to submit to your guidance and your direction. And sometimes there's a humbling that takes place, right? Like, there's these moments where they're like, man, I thought I had that dialed in. I thought I knew what I was doing and I was totally off the mark there. There's a humbling, there's a humility that comes, not a humiliation. And this is the difference. When someone is not operating in this place, feedback feels like criticism, right? There's a proving to have to position yourself, self-position yourself, self-promote, make yourself known in the room, which is the exact opposite of a leader who's a true multiplier and truly a powerhouse for the kingdom. Okay, number 5 is radical generosity. Okay, radical generosity. I'm not talking about just like a little bit here and there. Fine, we'll give something. Every great leader I know and the leaders that I've worked with intimately, they give big. They are big givers. They give with their time. They don't consider it an inconvenience when somebody that is just starting off wants to ask them questions. Like, I've seen it, I've done it too, that they give big with their time, with their wisdom. They're not afraid to share knowledge. They're not afraid to share wisdom because somebody might rip off what they said and take it and take credit for it. In fact, they don't need the credit in the room, right? They give the credit away. Their resources, they are generous with their resources, with their tools. And I've seen this over the years too, where there was a season of my life where there was a lot of hoarding. The people that I was with, and honestly, the stage of life that I was in, I was immature. I wanted to be a great leader. I wasn't leading from this place of radical generosity. And when someone's not in this space, they lead from a place of competition. Again, that everybody's trying to take something from you and you have to hold back for yourself, which is the exact opposite. They understand the spiritual law of multiplication is that when you give, when you pour out into others, but here's the kicker, with the right heart posture, it always yields a return. You don't give to get, but there is a supernatural law that's written into the fabric of creation and how God created the universe and all the systems within it to work, that when we give generously, radically unto others, and we give from the right heart, that says, you know what, I want to give just because kings give, queens give. We operate from a place of abundance. We don't operate from a place of lack, not because we have a lot, but because we can see all that we have. And the things that we do have, we don't hold back because we're terrified we're not going to get more of that, right? We're able to give freely. And when we pour out onto others from the right heart, it always returns pressed down, shaken together, overflowing, right? There's a verse in scripture that says that according to your measure that you give, so it will be given to you, right? Pressed down, shaken, and overflowing. So if you give from a transactional space, so it shall be unto you. If you give generously, so it shall be unto you. If you bless others and you do it from the right heart, so it shall be unto you. If you give stingy, greedy, feeling resentful about it, so it will be unto you, right? All right. So I'm going to do a quick recap on those. Number one is they are people builders. How am I doing in this department? I want to really ask you guys, challenge you guys. How are you doing in this department? Are you a builder of people, or are you threatened by people? Are you a builder and you realize that, man, when the people thrive, the profits are a byproduct of it. They show up, they perform better. They show up, they communicate better. They show up, they produce way more. They're way more creative. They're way more, open to problem solving, innovation, creative solutions? Or am I looking only at the bottom line? What are you producing? Am I so focused on the product and the profit or the revenue that I'm missing the whole thing that leads to that place, right? Number two, strategic thinkers. Am I truly a person who is able to step back, to pump the brakes, to cut off the noise for a minute, and to look at the landscape of what I'm entering into, whether it's a business deal, whether it's a family situation that's coming up, whether it's a legal battle, whether it's just making a decision on the next move in your life? Are you entering in strategically, or are you just busy, 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 busy all the time? Feels good to be busy. But if you're not living intentionally, then I guarantee you're not creating the life. You're not designing the life that you are designed to live. Number three, they take radical ownership, right? This is again about stewardship. Radical ownership says leaders go first. What is my part here? How can I lead better, right? How can I communicate better? I'm not going to wait for other people to get it. I'm going to lead. I'm going to be the one that leads with love. I'm going to be the one that leads with clarity. I'm going to be the one that leads with courage. I'm going to be the one that leads with intention. I'm going to be the one that leads with patience. Fill in the blank. What is it for you? Number four, radical humility. And number five, radical generosity. You guys, I want to this is kind of a quick one today. I think I'll do a follow-up to this, where I'm going to talk about also where these can go sideways, as with all of our gifts. When they're in overdrive and they're coming from the wrong place, they can also kind of kick back and bite us in the butt. So this is why we always have to check. We have to check our heart posture. We have to make sure that we're leading from the right place. So I just want to drop that here. We're going to keep it short today. I want to come back to where I started. Identity is everything. And I could add another 5 characteristics to this. I could add another 15 characteristics. But these are really the things that I have seen make a difference as I work with people. And I just want to add one more, which goes into radical ownership, is a willingness. I think at the end of the day, what we really need is a willingness to look at things through a different lens, a willingness to do things we've never done before, a willingness to live outside of our comfort zone, to do the thing that feels awkward, uncomfortable, challenging, a willingness to have the hard conversations, a willingness maybe to be still when we feel anxious and we want to just react. So much of this moving forward in our life comes back to the heart posture. Are we willing to submit? Are we willing to surrender? Do we have these characteristics in our life? Are they part of our coding? Are they part of our identity? If not, may I suggest that maybe it's time for an identity upgrade. The beautiful thing about how God created us is that we are the only species that can evolve and grow consciously. That means I can intentionally decide to step into new skin, to step into a new identity, to adopt a new belief systems. I can recreate my life over and over again with Him. And if I do it and I partner with the Holy Spirit, like watch out, because He's going to help you. He's going to create in you and through you as you co-create together a life that is going to blow you away, that's going to be beyond anything you ever asked for, dreamed of, or prayed for in the past. Such has been my life. But I want to really encourage those of you and challenge some of you who are maybe in this place of, man, I want to be like that. I want to be that leader. I want to say I have those characteristics, but if I'm honest, I'm still operating from lack. I'm still striving, improving, and having to perform and competing. And I'm not really generous because I'm hoarding a little bit, or I'm holding back out of fear. I'm still letting fear control my life too much. And if that's true, then the beautiful thing is, it's never too late. Right now, you can make the decision that effective immediately. I'm going to step into new skin. And I also want to remind you that every day God is doing a new thing in us. Every day we wake up, we have an opportunity to step into new skin and say, Lord, who do you want me to be today? Who am I? Who do you say I am? Right? Because so often what we're doing is we're walking around carrying all these identities of the past, identities that people have put onto us, labels, job titles that we got confused and we made them our identity. And that is not who we are at our core. At our core, we are created to be generous. We are created to be humble. We are created to be builders and multipliers of people. We are created to be lovers and warriors that are loving and fighting in the right ways. There's so much more to us than these outer shells. And so as I wrap today, I just want to encourage you that if you are not loving the identity, the man or the woman that maybe has been showing up the last 3 months, 6 months, maybe years, make today the day that you say, Lord, who do you say I am? And let me be more of him. Let me be more of her, which means I'm going to be more of you, right? More of you, less of me, more of the right heart, less of that. Guys, thank you for being here today. I hope that this was helpful, that this landed. If you're watching this on YouTube and the videos, I always love to hear your comments. Also on Spotify, some of the other platforms allow you to leave comments. Make sure that you're subscribed, because only about 15% of listeners are actually subscribed to the show, which is insane. So make sure you subscribe, you follow. And as always, I love to hear the reviews that you guys leave about these shows or the comments that you drop. So thank you for being here. Have a beautiful, blessed, amazing day. We'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.